Hey folks, Mel the Train Tutor back in the studio and back with day 4. Yes, slightly different angle. Yeah, and I may be looking more attractive and more healthy in this video, and there's a specific reason for that, and I'll cover that shortly. Yeah, okay, what's happening today? Well, today's been one of those days where during the day, family commitments and basically just derailed my day, and you know, I had to focus on other things, and I was quite frustrated. But this evening, kids are at cadets. I've got 3-4 hours clear, so I've come into the studio now. And with coming into the studio, I decided I'm not going to film on my normal cameras. I'm going to do it off my mobile. I'm just giving it a go of rough shooting, you know, vloggy style off my sort of mobile setup, and I'll talk about that in another stream. But it's just a quick and easy way of getting the actual vlog up to you, rather than filming it on my main cameras, editing it up, or having to go home, edit it up and all that sort of stuff. This way I can just do it on my phone, one long video, and then just straight to YouTube. There's no transitions, and I don't get to tweak the audio or anything like that. But yeah, I get to do this, get to chat with you. It makes it easier. Now, just a couple of things, because I want to talk terrain in this one. Yeah, I've got some terrain talk to do. Well, big brain's been thinking. So, where are we and what are we messing with? Right. A couple of things that occurred yesterday while I was working on the MDF things, and a few questions, thank you and all that, and the comment, thank you. Yeah, plenty. I've got loads of bullet points for the article, but while I was doing it, my mind was just racing over ideas for this. Yeah? And loads of ideas. And that was kind of good, because they were coming out, you know, and I found myself jumping on Google Images and checking out Burmese temples and stuff like that. And I realised that, unrestrained from all the complexities of producing my old sort of content, yeah, it's not just the passion that's come back, it's the creativity as well. Yeah, so, you know, my mind's, woo, oh, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And that's a really positive thing, guys. Genuinely, that's a really good thing. Yeah, it's for me and for this and where we're going. Yeah, it shows that the old Mel's still there. Yeah, it was just all the extra stresses of the things that go with the channel that were sort of keeping it down. And now we sort of freed those constraints. It's all coming out. And it's day 4. I mean, this is 30 days. You know what I mean? To see if we can reconnect. And everyone's saying there's a massive change in me. Now, as part of that, I had loads of ideas, and I could do this and I could do this. And it sort of highlighted one of the little problems that I don't want to go into too much, because I don't want these vlogs just to be about me, and these are all my struggles. I want them, yeah, but I don't want to sort of just ignore it. One of my sort of issues is I think I promise too much, you know, and then I put myself in a position where I've overcommitted, and you know, and then I either get stressed out trying to keep that commitment or let people down, when it's all because I've overcommitted and excited, and I haven't actually been, just hold back, what, you know, and being reasonable. Yeah, and this is something that's plagued me, actually, not just with getting back on the channel, but through the channel, you know, with commissions and all sorts of things. You know, being realistic about deadlines and stuff like that. Yeah, and so I'm being very conscious that while we're doing this rehab thing, that, okay, that's clearly something, an issue in the past that consistently caused problems. Yeah, and so let's just bear that in mind, and every time don't promise too much, you know what I mean, and just be aware of that. And if we're going to put this back on the path, let's not put it back on the path to where I was doing the channel but struggling and that sort of stuff. Let's sort it, you know what I mean. So really positive that creativity is coming back, but at the same time realised I need to sort of hold back and not get carried away, you know, with my excitement and my passion for terrain. Not a bad thing. Now, with all the ideas that sort of came about, what's the best way of describing this? My ideas for this project became a bit creative chaos. You'll have to excuse me if I keep looking in the wrong direction. I've got to remember the camera's there on this, not there. I'm adapting. I'm getting used to it. So, talking about doing this project. Now, when we did this, there was no expectation of me showing you any terrain. I just picked this up and, oh, well, we'll put a base and then we'll make it higher, then we'll get these, and we've just rolled from it. So straight from the off, I had no vision of what this was going to be. And so as I've tackled it, ideas have shot off, and even now, I've got ideas for it that I haven't even started to build yet. And what this means is we're in this sort of weird situation of, if I follow I follow all these creative offshoots, and do what I want to do with it, I'm going to have the build at various stages, doing various build stages. Some bits being washed and varnished, while other bits are being made. Yeah, and that becomes quite chaotic creatively. And it's quite common with what we do. I mean, even when we've got an idea of what we do and what we want to build, we always do go off tangents, because as it becomes physical, our mind starts seeing it and seeing possibilities, and that's the creative process. But it can sort of derail you, and you can have projects where you get ideas, and then if something goes wrong, it sort of stalls the project. Yeah, and I don't want this to happen with this kit. I don't want that creative chaos and desire to make this, that, the other, become problematic, because it complicates it. It has so many different things at so stage that it becomes frustrating. Now, quite often the best way of dealing with this is to actually plan your pieces. Sit down, what do I want it being? Although that doesn't stop it completely, at least if you have a guide and an idea, it keeps you on track. In the case of this, we weren't even supposed to be building it. I picked up a kit and we're just rolling with it, I hadn't even looked what proper Burmese temples looked like until yesterday, to be truthful. And that's where I've had a load more idea. Right, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. Yeah. And so, when it comes to creative chaos and managing it, you need to be realistic. And so either you need to approach it and sort of approach it from the way of, right, this is my plan, this is what I want to build, and just go through a proper planning process. Yeah, and I talk about that heavily in the book, all the way through concept design, playtesting, all that sort of stuff, making bits out, making mock-ups out of corrugated cardboard and hot glue to test if it works functionally and all that sort of stuff. So there are ways that you can sort of, all right, not kill the creative process, but constrict it so that, our little muses don't take us off in directions and derail projects, which, let's be honest, as wargamers and terrain makers, I can guarantee everyone's got a couple of pieces on their shelves that are half finished because, they went a different way and you're not quite, you know what I mean? Yeah, and so it's not about, planning doesn't kill the process, it constricts it and allows you to, allows you to think about the creative things that you'd like to do a lot more before you're actually building the piece, which actually sort of narrows down the chance of things coming up while you're building the piece. Oh, I could do this. Yeah. And so that's one way. But let's say you have planned, or let's say you've got a plan, but you get like me and you get a piece like this, and you get to a stage where you're going to have 3-4 different elements, all completely at different stages, and not quite sure. With some elements, don't even know how I'm going to do that, and other elements of, I know how I'm going to finish. Yeah. When you get to that stage, you've got to stop yourself. Yeah, because you will make it so convoluted that even if you complete the project, it'll be frustrating because you're swapping between so many different things. So to show you how I'm tackling this challenge with myself, I'm going to talk about my ideas for this kit, okay, and then how I'm actually challenging, how I'm going to deal with the creative chaos that all these ideas have come up and complicating the build. So I just need to, we're going to have a mess around, not done this before, so I'm going to just switch the camera around and just angle it so you can see this and I can keep talking to you. So we bring this up. It's on my gimbal. It's quite posh, that, see? Yeah, this studio. Right, anyway, so if I put that there, camera around, and we go down. Yeah, there we are. Right, here we've got it. Now, I do not know what this is going to sound like or anything like that, so apologies on the audio. Yeah, so here's our piece. Okay, now, first off, it's all dried. It's looking good. Temple dogs, okay? Now, with the temple dogs, loads of people have said, oh, they should be facing in. Loads of people said you should face on out. Yeah, I've looked at all the pictures. They're on all the temples. I can see they're facing forwards. So, in this situation, since there's no clear answer, Dead simple. I'm just going to go with rule of cool. Yeah, take a leaf out of Warzan's book. Yeah, and I quite like them looking outwards because it means that pretty much from the front of the piece, wherever you look at it, there's a dog looking at you. Now, they're not actually supposed to be dogs. They're supposed to be like chinthy dragons, but there's no specific models for the Burmese sort of temple dragon dogs. Yeah, so we're going with these. So that's where we are with the dogs. Right, next off is the actual placement. Now, as we were putting together, it started off, let me just grab the gates. And when we started off like this, and we got all these barriers around, and we decided, you know, oh, there's not much playable space, let's take them off. Okay, and that's opened up all this playable space. They actually stuck on, have they? I didn't mean them to stick on. There you go. Yeah, all that playable space. But it occurred to me that it's too open now. Yeah, so how am I going to deal with this? Well, if I put my budder in, yeah, that sort of clamps it, restricts the space a bit. But what I could do is I could use these barriers, and I could put a barrier sort of behind here or some sort of fascia and make these into a back piece there, which would close it up, okay, and sort of restrict it. But to do that, that means I'm taking this piece back to the building stage. So if I do that, then all of a sudden, yeah, it's more open, but it isn't, if you know what I mean. Sorry, what the hell are you talking about? It's open, we've opened it up, but just by simply closing off that back bit, what we're doing is we're just restricting it a bit. So instead of troops standing in the middle and being able to shoot all round, yeah, we block that back bit off, and it's sort of not omnidirectional, if you know what I mean. So, but to do that, and that's what I want to do, but to do that, we've got to actually do some conversion work on this, yeah, which takes this back to the building stage. Now, at the same time, I've been looking at the Buddha, yeah, which is this. And it occurs to me I could probably take that off and position him underneath the beam instead of in front of it, which means I could even take these barriers, yeah, and move them to there and sort of do a little fence around it with the Buddha sitting back there. So there's a couple of options there, yeah, but it takes the piece straight back to the start. Then there's the roof, yeah. Now this is a Japanese sort of style roof, yeah, which is indicated by that sort of bow. When you look at the actual Burmese temples, they've actually got they're like railings, fascias on every surface you can put them on. And they've all got a particular style, yeah. They all sort of start, unlike a bow, what they do is they sort of come down and then peak, and like that. And the peak, it's got like a couple of circles and a spike. And what you realise is that the actual fascias and these railings are actually the skyline of a very ancient and famous Burmese temple. Yeah, now the temple is called Angkor Wat. Yeah, if you just Google Burmese temple, you'll see the pictures, but it's the actual skyline. And when Burmese modern temples in Burma, they have this railing on everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean they would have it across the top of here, down here, along there, along there, along there, along there, along there, running flat along there, as railings across there, running flat along that surface, and every other surface you could lay it on. Okay, so from my point of view, it's like, all right, now I've seen that, I need to do something about this. Specifically, I need to take this off and somehow change it into some sort of Burmese style, yeah? Which means it's something I've got to play with. Secondly, I'm looking at this, and all the Burmese temples, they have terracotta tiles, yeah? And I'm thinking, well, I've got some plastic terracotta tile sheets, embossed sheets. I could, with the amount of roof space on here, I could convert the roof, you know, put some fascias on there, Burmese style on there, and it'd really highlight the kit. But it's a lot of work. It's conversion work going straight back to the start. And the question becomes, right, do you really want to get that heavily into it? And so just quickly to switch, yeah, come back. Hello, that's a bit close. There you go. So to quickly, oh yeah, back there. I'm getting there. So the situation becomes that with the roof, there's so much work on it that if I started that at the same time as I was painting and doing everything else, everything's going to be convoluted. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the roof and do nothing with it. I'm just going to put it completely to the side. Yeah, because I can then concentrate on just doing this bit. Yeah, and that way all my creative ideas that I get while I'm doing things about how I can make the roof more Burmese, yeah, don't derail the project, because I can just focus on this, get the ideas for this, and then once this is done, I can look at what's achievable. Now, I might get to the stage and go, right, looked at it, and you know what? I just want to get this finished. Let's paint this in a terracotta and give it a dry brush and get it on the roof. And we're done, and the piece is done. The creative chaos hasn't sort of derailed the complete project and left things half finished, because I haven't really started this bit. Yeah? And so by taking this out of the option, I'm just restricting and sort of stopping myself complicating things. And then once I've done this, I can look at this and go, right, yeah, let's do it quick. Or, yeah, let's jazz that up. Now, my feelings at the minute with regards to the piece itself and all that sort of stuff is quite simple. I feel, yeah, that we sort of drifted into quite a nice feature piece. I mean, it's a temple piece for the Big Burma build, and we've just dropped into it without any planning or anything. So I've got this, and it's a bit like, this is a bit the you know, the road to recovery sort of thing. It's ironic I start with a Buddhist temple, isn't it? You know, where I'm trying to find my calm and peace and get back into things. Yeah, I end up, so I feel like, you know, this is a bit special. So I'm going to do some interesting flashes and some details on these, and I've got some loads of good ideas, but I'm going to force my own rules on myself and restrict my creativity. So for the interim, yeah, and I'm sort of wrapping this video up now because we've talked quite a bit on this, yeah, is I'm just going to potter on with this, get my ideas, see what I can do. Okay, because we're not rushing, and I'm in no rush. I mean, I came in and with initially I want to do this, and that's why I'm trying to control the creative chaos. Yeah, because it's this, don't overcommit. You know, it's about connecting. So that's where I am, and that's what I'm going to do for the next couple of hours and potter on. Yeah. In the meantime, I'm obviously going to finish this video and upload and everything. So we keep day 4. So that's the battle plan, and today has been another positive day. Even though the day got derailed, still managed to connect, still realised things, still made progress, and I'm in here getting ready to get stuck on. So I'm going to do the usual things. Now listen, straight off to all those who've been nipping PayPals, and a few of you have been saying, here's the patron money you haven't been getting. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, links are down below. Yeah, if you want to help me, keep me going on this sort of thing, it is appreciated right now. Beyond that, keep the comments coming. I can't reply to all of them. Yeah, I'm sort of cherry picking odd ones that, you know, hit me where, you know, or oh yeah. But just seeing the comments, you know, I'm reading and I'm liking every single one, guys. Yeah, so keep those comments coming, because it's good and it's working. Yeah, and we are all enjoying this. And in the meantime, folks, cracking on time. All the best, yeah? Ta-da.